When I first met Claire, I thought she was everything I'd been waiting for. Smart, charming, funny in a way that seemed effortless. She had this energy that made people want to be around her. We started dating casually at first, and within a few months, she practically lived in my apartment. She kept her own place, but clothes, shoes, and random little things began to pile up in my closet. It didn't bother me. In fact, I liked it. To me, it meant she was settling in, making space for herself in my life. I was in love, and when you're in love, you don't keep score. If she wanted to crash on my couch and binge a series, fine. If she wanted to order takeout on my card, I didn't mind. She'd say, "I'll get the next one," though the next one rarely came. I told myself it wasn't important. Relationships aren't 50-50 every day. Sometimes one person carries more, and that was okay. But slowly, small things started to catch my attention. It began with streaming services. I was paying for Netflix, Hulu, HBO, and even Disney Plus because Claire wanted to watch some new show. When I jokingly asked if she could chip in or maybe take over one of them, she laughed and said, "Babe, you know I'm terrible with subscriptions. You've got it all set up, it's easier if you handle it." It was said with a smile, light-hearted, like I'd be silly to even suggest otherwise. I shrugged it off. It was only a few dollars a month, right? Not worth a fight. Then came dinners. I'd pay when we went out, and she'd tease me with this playful grin. "He covers Netflix and Hulu, I get the benefit. You're spoiling me." She'd say it in front of friends too, like it was some inside joke between us. Everyone would laugh, and I'd laugh too, but inside something twisted. It wasn't just the money. It was the way she said it. Like the things I was doing weren't sacrifices or gestures of love, they were obligations. Like she was entitled to them. Still, I stayed quiet. I told myself not to overthink it. Claire had her own stresses, student loans, a demanding job, her family issues. Maybe it wasn't fair to pile this on her. But the pattern didn't stop. Birthdays, anniversaries, even holidays, it was always me planning, me paying, me putting in the effort. Claire would show up, beautiful and smiling, but empty-handed. If she ever did contribute, it was with some last-minute gesture that felt more like a performance than genuine care. And yet, the worst part wasn't the money or even the imbalance. It was the way she framed it. "He covers everything, I get the benefit," she'd say, half joking, half serious, as though our entire relationship was a deal she'd cleverly struck. That line stuck in my head, over and over, until one day, I stopped laughing with her. I started listening. The shift happened one Friday night, when we were at a small get-together with some of her friends. I didn't know most of them well, but Claire wanted me there, so I came. Drinks flowed, the music was loud, and the jokes bounced around the table. At some point, one of her girlfriends leaned in and asked Claire how she managed to always keep things so comfortable. Claire smirked, tipped her glass toward me and said, "Simple. He covers Netflix and Hulu, I get the benefit." The table erupted in laughter. But unlike before, I didn't laugh. I watched Claire as she basked in the attention, like the joke wasn't just a joke, it was the truth she'd grown comfortable telling. My chest tightened as I realized that was how she really saw me. Not as her partner, but as her provider. The one she could rely on to make life easier without ever having to think twice about what she gave in return. The ride home was silent. She scrolled through her phone while I drove, humming softly, completely oblivious to the storm gathering inside me. That night, I lay awake staring at the ceiling, asking myself questions I didn't want the answers to. Did she actually value me? Or just the comfort I provided? Was I her boyfriend, or just her safety net? Over the next few weeks, I started noticing even more things I'd brushed aside before. She always forgot her wallet when we went out. She'd borrow my car, but never once filled the gas tank. When I was sick and needed soup, she sent me a text saying, "DoorDash something, babe. You've got the subscriptions." Like even my illness wasn't a reason for her to extend herself. The worst moment came when my bank notified me of unusual activity. I found out Claire had logged into my Amazon account and ordered herself new shoes, a jacket, and a skincare set, without asking me. When I confronted her, she laughed it off, saying, "Babe, I thought it was fine. You always take care of things." I didn't yell. I didn't even argue. I just sat there, staring at her, realizing that she had stopped seeing me as a person a long time ago. I was a convenience, a subscription she never had to pay for. That night, I made a decision. I wasn't going to fight with her, and I wasn't going to beg her to change. I wanted to know the truth. Not the jokes, not the smiles she put on for friends, but what she really thought when I wasn't around. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I stopped being the one who paid first. I let the bills sit on the table when the waiter came. I canceled one of the streaming services and didn't mention it. I waited to see if she noticed, if she cared, if she'd step in. And that's when the cracks began to show. The first time I didn't pay the bill, Claire froze. We were at a cafe she loved, and when the check arrived, I just set it down between us and continued sipping my coffee. Her eyes flickered from the receipt to me, waiting for the familiar routine. Finally, she let out a laugh and said, "You're funny. Don't make me pull out my card. You know I hate that." But I didn't move. Her smile faltered, and with an exaggerated sigh, she fished through her bag and swiped her card. For the rest of the meal, she barely spoke, scrolling on her phone with a tight jaw. That was the beginning of the unraveling. Over the next 2 weeks, I watched her slip further into discomfort. She complained about her expenses piling up, and made little comments about how things were easier before. She even hinted that I was being petty, and not myself. But I stayed quiet, observing. Then one evening, while she was in the shower, her phone lit up on the couch beside me. A group chat with her friends buzzed with notifications. I shouldn't have looked, but after everything, I couldn't stop myself. What I saw confirmed every suspicion. Screenshots of shopping carts. Memes about boyfriends being walking ATMs. And then Claire's message, sitting there in plain sight. "Honestly, I don't see why I should spend when he enjoys taking care of me. He covers Netflix, Hulu, dinner, gas, literally everything. Why should I ruin a good thing?" Oh. The words punched harder than any insult. It wasn't just convenience anymore. It was exploitation, dressed up as a joke she proudly shared with her friends. When she came out of the shower, humming and wrapped in a towel, I couldn't look at her the same way. The Claire I thought I loved wasn't real. She had built our relationship on the comfort of what I gave, not who I was. The next day, I canceled every subscription. Netflix, Hulu, Amazon gone. I blocked her access to my accounts, removed her from my car insurance, and changed every password she'd ever used. That evening, she stormed into my apartment furious. "Why would you do this? You're being dramatic. Do you know how inconvenient this is for me?" For her. Always for her. I handed her phone back, the one she'd left charging at my place, with the group chat still open. "I know what I was to you, Claire. Not a partner. Not someone you loved. Just a benefit. Just an ATM with feelings you never cared about." She tried to backpedal, swearing it was just a joke, but the words were already carved into me. I wasn't going to let myself be a punchline anymore. I ended it that night. The silence that followed was both brutal and liberating. For weeks I missed the routine, the shared shows, the little outings, but I didn't miss her. Slowly, I realized that what I truly craved wasn't someone who saw me as a provider, but someone who valued me as a person. Because love isn't about who pays the bills, or who covers the subscriptions. Love is about respect. And the moment she traded mine for a laugh, she lost me forever.